Hello Internet people, welcome back to more of me learning Haskell. It's been a little while since I did this at all, and then in December I was looking at alternative code stuff. So it's been like a couple of months since I was working on this project to be able to book different development environments. And actually I was writing this as a servant app, but then I took a little detour to look at megaparsec. Because we're interested in parsing durations, so you could type something English-ish, like book this environment for 2 weeks, and it would parse the 2 weeks and turn it into some kind of meaningful duration. So I want to go back and pick up the servant app, I think, and try and move the megaparsec code that I wrote into the servant app, so that when we create a booking, we can specify duration, and we can specify it in some kind of English-like way. But yeah, it's been a while, so I've probably forgotten a lot of stuff. It might take me a little while to get back into it. My typing might be a bit wonky as well. I have a new keyboard, which is very lovely. It's half of it, is the other half, which is great, and it's nice to type on, but it's moves a lot of keys around. So I keep getting very confused, particularly for typing symbols and stuff. So apologies if it's all over the place. Right, so maybe let's jump back in again. I've opened up the servant app that I was working on before. It might be good just to try and go through it, remember how it works. I've completely forgotten, or largely forgotten. I guess maybe I could start us by reading the routing from here to see what things it supports, and maybe look in the database as well to see how I'm storing the data, like what data could be stored. So by the looks of things, we can list the environments we have, we can create a new environment, we can get a single environment, and it looks like it returns the book information with that. What's this one doing? This is getting back the information for a specific booking, and then this one I guess is posting the booking. Yeah. Okay. So I got those endpoints. I'm most interested in what this booking looks like that we are sending through. I'm curious as to whether or not I already have a duration in there, and if so, what type it has. So it's going to be a file called db, I think, or is it in DAO? Actually, it might be in DAO. Yeah, it might be in here. Okay, so this is definition of our booking. Okay, it's got a from and a to, and I guess my plan is to replace it with a start and a duration. That's cool. And then the other thing is, well, one of the other things is, I think when I create it, I seed it with some test data, which is actually, that probably isn't a database file. Oh, these are all the functions. It's going to be a mess. Get status. Initial DB. Okay. So we created a single environment, which has got an ID of 0, and it's called staging. Okay, see if I can remember how to run it. And actually, I really hope I've got all the curl commands in my history to fetch stuff and to post definition stuff. So I guess stack run should start the server. It says it's running. New shell, please. And then let's have a look for curl. Oops, curl. It's not that one, because that's me installing GHC app. Okay, it looks like this one is going to be listing out the available environments. That's a good start. So what's this doing? This is creating a booking on environment 1, which we don't have. Why does it do that? You get 404. Oh, look at that. 404 and an error message. So we could just do it on booking 0 for now. Yeah, booking 0. I'm just looking at when I did this. So it was October last year. Did it a while ago. Okay, so we've created the booking. If we get the environment back, it doesn't show us the bookings. Okay, so I get environments 1. Sorry, 0. It's the first one. Okay, cool. I can now see that there is a booking on there. Oh yes, obviously I worked out the status as well to see whether or not the booking is current. So in theory, I guess if I create another one, but I set the booking, the end date of this to be this year, October, why not? And then get them back. There are 2 bookings now. Oh, cool, and it's worked out that it is in fact booked. Right, so what I think I want to end up with is the ability to say booking from and then duration. And for duration I could say something like a week, 2 weeks, or there's a long time book environment. Let's say like 2 hours. That's the kind of thing I want to say. So there are a couple of parses, I guess. One is in the code inside Servant that I have at the moment. I am presumably, if I go to the DAO, I'm presumably serializing this data in some way. Yeah, so I'm just pulling booking 2 out of the JSON data that I'm passing in and using it to construct a booking. And I don't want to do that. I want to take the duration data and process it before storing it. I don't know how to do that. And then to process it, what I want to do is use some kind of parser to say, make sense of this information. Okay, I might start by just trying to work out how to parse the data, how to modify it as it comes in. So, let's do that for a second. I guess one question is, what is V and what is this operator? And am I doing anything already with it? V.name. That's playing something prelude. Okay, so I wonder what this operator does. I guess we could have a look. Let's go and find thing. So we have a look for ASIN. Oh, actually, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do a different thing, right? There's a new thing I've installed, a new extension called Haskell Spotlight. It's very new, but it seems pretty cool. Which is basically allowing me to do the Google search. I think it's a bit more than that. I think it search hackies as well. I can do a Google search from inside VS Code. I can click on this and it opens up the correct page for me, which is slightly quicker than switching to a web browser. Okay, where's documentation? Let's go to the homepage. It's not super useful, is it? Back to here, package ASIN. ASIN, just looking for a definition of this operator. Oh, some documentation here, cool. Hands. So we got this stuff going on. We don't want to write to JSON. We want to It's not really this either. Decode to Haskell value. No. Okay. Pass convert value, and then from JSON. Nope, it's not what I want either. It's a lot of stuff. I just want my operator. I don't want my data type. I don't really want that either. I don't think. Oh gosh. Let me switch back to that for a second. The operator I'm using is dot colon. Okay, so retrieve the value associated with the given key of a value. If you're optionally use this one, that's not what I want. It's not that. That's its defaults. So this takes an object, a key, and returns a parser. So what can I do with the parse data? This is also object key that. I do that. This one takes parser maybe A, so they output something and some A. Oh, that'll be a default value. Okay, it returns another parser. Right, okay, so what we want is something that takes parser A. No, we want an object and a key, and it gets another function to modify it, and returning a parser of maybe A. Should basically just want a given key, so it's empty. So look at the code again, see where I'm actually calling this. Okay, so V is my object. Oh, wait a second. So this thing in itself, no, not that. I think that this, let's say bracket there, but I think that in itself will return me a value. So what I could do is, well, I could test this by just shoving something at the start of it, except it's a time, so that's not going to be very helpful. Let me do it on the environment because we've got some strings in there. So when we are creating an environment, we do one of these, and we're calling v.name, and setting that in our environment object. So I think what I could do is something like just write test, and then plus, and plus is totally a thing that I know where it is. Okay. So it couldn't match type list with parser. And we need to lift it in. Expect parser environment, get list environment. Okay. So the return type from this is sorry, the return type of this is parser environment, or maybe environment, I'm guessing. What's it saying here? Parser environment, there's no maybe involved there. Okay, so I can't just append to that type. I want to append the thing inside it. So let's go with some horribleness, but let's say plus that, and just fmap it, basically. But no, I'm going to fmap. I'm going to press a random key and jump to random place in the file. Okay, can we fmap it now? That, and then dollar is there. No, it's close. There. Okay. What's this saying? No, show me the warning. Functor law. Okay. So I can basically don't need this. I don't need to run the functor over ++ test. I want to run the ++ test over this, or under that, I guess, and then just append it to the function call to create the environment. So this is just me seeing how to modify a value, basically. So be able to call v.name and then modify the value inside it. Okay, so given that, I can just restart my server, I think. I should recompile it. Yep, okay, it's running now. And then we want to post to the environment. So what are we going to look for? Environments have got a status. No, we don't set that. Got an ID in the name. I think I made the ID optional. Okay, so what am I doing here? I'm going to search for more curl command. We'll find eventually. What was that? That was good. Okay, so I'm going to create an environment called test. And I expect the name to come out as test, but capitalized test at the beginning. Oh, it was close. I'm appending test to it, not adding test. But it's good enough. Okay, so to modify this value, I use this operator to get this field out of this object. And then I can take a function which takes this thing. I think the docs are saying it's already called from JSON on it, so it will be converted to the object. No, sorry, converted to the type that we want. So basically what I'm saying is down here, I think this will already be, when you call v, however you pronounce this thing, get field booking 2, I think the thing that returns to you is something of type parser a, where a in this case is the type we're looking for, which is UTC time. That's my thinking. So I think I'm going to have UTC time. So if I change this to get a differently named field called duration, and then I can do something which returns a UTC time. So if I have a brand new field it doesn't know anything about, so something like, what would we call this? Duration, I guess. What are we going to do with this? So I'm just trying to work out where it gets converted into UTC time, because I'm thinking it's not actually here. I think I don't know. I'm curious to see how this actually works, because at this point, how would it know? Oh, it knows it's got to be. It knows what type it's aiming for, because it knows it's got to be UTC time, because that's the type of this last argument that you're passing into booking. Still don't really know how it does it though. Is this why we have to derive generic? It might be to do the conversion for us. Okay, so it would pull out field duration as a string, I think, and then it would convert it into UTC time. So what I'm interested in doing, I think, is something like from duration. And we'll run to the shit out of this, because I find where the dollar symbol is. Okay, and I'll need to bracket this, I think. There. Okay, that's going to be upset because I haven't written from duration. So from duration, I think is going to take a string, or we can tell it to take a string. And it's going to give us something of type UTC time somehow. Not entirely sure how to do that. Let's give it a go. So it says UTC time. Okay, and then from duration is undefined. So it's not complaining about types here, which is a good sign. Obviously means I got it completely right. I'm just going to set this back to the way it was. Okay, so how do we do this from duration thing? It's tricky because we don't know the start time. In fact, we maybe to pull this out. It's going to be a bit more complicated. You're going to say let's start is rebooking from. Oops, it's not there anymore. And duration. Or maybe we could say end actually. Is I'm going to rename this add duration, and it will take the start time, and then we'll have to map it over getting the duration back. So let's say that it's v dot colon in duration. In this thing, and it won't, we won't use booking from here, we just use start and end. Okay, it's not super happy. Good match type, let's type booking. I mean, I could do that, but it doesn't seem right. Okay. Let me just do this iteration for a second, get rid of that error message. So we'll take a UTC time. UTC time, and also string. Oops. Yeah. Okay. So now we have a problem where start is not a UTC time. So we could tell it to be one and hope that works. So this is going to be of type UTC time. Okay. That's not any good. I wonder how you specify the type in the middle of a let. Did I do it there? UTC time. 8 seconds. No. Legal type signature. Type signatures are allowed in patterns with scoped type variables. I mean, I could just, it's an extension, I could use it. Not was the best idea though. And it did not work. Okay, so I think this is really expecting to be unmarshaled into an object. So I'm not really sure. Well, I can intercept it along the way. We find a way of doing that. But how would I get hold of the start time? Oops. Because I was really hoping that instead of using from duration, which would parse the duration, that we could instead give it the start time and a duration string, and it could work out the end time. But it doesn't seem to do that. So instead of returning a UTC time, we can return a duration. Let's just do that for a second. So duration, oops, a duration is going to be, I can't remember how we did before, but maybe make it like a number of hours. UTC time, sorry, what was the name of the type of the output of your duration parser? Yeah, that's 3 integer thing. So the way I did it before is I made it a record where I had, also by the way, hi Tim, I wasn't sure I was going to watch tonight, so it's good to see someone online. The type I had before, it was a record with 3 things in it. I think it had like hour, minute, and day in it. And the reason I made it compound is so that you could say things which didn't line up, like 1 month and 4 days, where you can't represent that just as a number of days because you don't know how many days that represents. But here, I'm just going to make it the simpler sum type because I don't necessarily need to worry about weeks, so not to get this working anyway. So let's just say you can specify it. It could just be a number of minutes, couldn't it? And we could work it out from there. But let's not do that. Okay, so let's say for this simple version, you can say it's going to be so many hours And that's going to take an integer, or it's going to be some number of days. Okay. And we will make this a duration. Oh, we need to call it duration as well. Okay. So can we derive everything for this? EQ, good start. Show obviously works generic. Okay, and it's just pushing me to implement everything. So this string to duration is exactly what is going to happen if I didn't do this. Okay, let me not do a custom type for now. Let's just do it as an int. We won't call it duration, we'll just call it like hours. You can pick for a set number of hours. So if we see like a day, we'll just set 24 hours. Yeah, it means you can't pick it for less than an hour, but we can come back and change it to minutes. That's not really the key point here, I guess. Okay, so I'm just going to do some nastiness for a second. So if you pass in, I won't parse this properly, but if you pass in something like we'll support 2 hours, and then that would be just the number 2. Oops. From duration, well, we'll support a day, and that's going to be 24. How to write a parser? Just list out every possible value that the string could take. And anything else, anything else is going to be, let's just set to 0 for now. Okay. So I kind of think things might break because we don't have an end time at the moment. So we need to calculate the end time on the fly. And I'll just write a quick helper for that, I think. So you can say end time, and it's going to take a booking. Why did I specify the package name here when I'm in this package? That might have just been a sort of search in place. It's going to take a booking. Oops. And it's going to return a UTC time. I have to work out how the times work. Basically how I can add to an existing time. So end time of B is going to be the booking from, what it's called, of B. Yep. And then we need to work out how to say something along the lines of plus the duration of B. Okay, so if I get the spotlight back up again, and we're looking for UTC time. This thing. So the day number and the time of midnight. Okay. How do you add? They add UTC time. That takes 2 things. Not really what I want to do. So what was the type of day? Oh, goodness. It is effectively just an integer. And you can add days onto it, and that's not quite what I'm going to do. So the daytime is a diff time, it's a length of time. Maximum treat as seconds. Okay, so I could use seconds to diff time. But can I then add on to this somehow? Nominal diff time, seconds to nominal diff time. Nope. I'm just wondering how I can generate one of these from. I don't really want to generate this. I want to take the UTC-T daytime and add stuff onto it. No, it's this, isn't it? Sorry. Yeah, so adds UTC time, take a nominal diff time, which I need to do seconds nominal diff time from a number of seconds, okay. And then the time, and then return a new one to me. So it was add UTC time. No, yes, add UTC time. That can go, let's give it that for a second. So it was add UTC time. And we're going to add whatever the seconds are. Let's call it seconds. And the second argument is going to be the current UTC at the start time, which is that thing. Okay, so let's try and fix that a bit. So we can just import this. We need to work out what seconds are. Seconds is equal to, I'm storing duration in number of hours, so it's going to be duration of B multiplied by 3600. Good, non-scope duration. Oh, it's because I called it hours. Not the best name. Okay. And it's not that, it's whatever the function was called to generate the seconds to nominal diff time. That's the one I want. Okay. I haven't done any Haskell for ages and it's really confusing me. And it's kind of cool though. Cool but confusing. So nominal diff time applied to that. Let's import. Okay. So couldn't match type int with Pico. There's one order fix for that. Data.fix.pico. From integral doesn't work, so that's the wrong way around. Okay, what is a Pico and how do I create it? Fixed E12. Where are we now? Make fixed, and then I can give it an integer. Apparently. So it's this applied to was it okay fixed prior to that. So can I just import this? Apparently yes. Okay, but not quite. Can actually expect to type integer with actual type int. What? Okay, that doesn't seem like the nicest solution, but we're not parsing properly, and we're just trying to get this working. Okay, so my goal ultimately is to be able to pass in a duration. It gets stored as a number of hours, and then that gets used to calculate the end time of the booking, and then I can use that to work out whether or not environment is booked. That's where I'm heading with this. Module, blah, blah, blah. I'm just going to break this for multiple lines because that's a bit annoying. And we'll also export end time as a help function. Okay. Now there'll be some other stuff broken. So presumably at some point, we are calculating whether or not something is booked. And where are we doing that? I wonder. So this environment status, I can just look for the type error because like I removed something. There we go, that will do. Yeah, this is where I'm working out the status. Okay, so we don't have booking 2, but we should just be able to replace this with end time. That was a much quicker fix than I expected. And now we should work out the end time, you know. Let's run it, see if it works. I quite like working with type errors again. Like just this kind of guiding me through the things I need to fix is a nice experience. Oh, there. Okay, so I don't want to create a new environment this time. I want to create a booking, but I'm going to go booking from. Actually, I'm going to run this because it's broken. So if I specify booking 2, I expect it to give me back an error about missing duration. Probably just about missing duration. I don't think it cares about extra types or extra arguments. Yeah, so it's upset because I haven't got duration here. So we say we're going to book it from the 2022 01 21 hasn't happened yet, so let's do 20. Yeah, 849 has already happened. And then we'll say duration, oops. And what were my options for duration? We had 2 hours. That was one of my options. Okay. There you go, it's parse, it's 2 hours. And now if I get it back, it says it's available. That's not really what I wanted to see. Because it shouldn't be, I don't think. No, it's definitely in the past. Okay. So I wonder how we print out what the end time is. Because that's just getting the status back. This. env bookings. Well, this is our type from the DAO. So env bookings is the list of bookings, and bookings do not contain the end time. We know it's booked for 2 hours. We know it starts here. Okay, so in theory, I could just, well, I should write a test for it, but in the absence of that, I wonder if I can call this parse JSON from JSON. All I really need is this and a duration, and I should get a new one back. Oh, I need a whole booking object. That's annoying. Okay. So can I call from JSON directly? Oops. From JSON. Maybe I did mean that. Oh, wrong button. But do I mean that? I don't think I do mean JSON.from JSON. Oh, wait a minute, sorry. I want to call this is a type class, right? And I've implemented parse JSON. I'm wondering how I get hold of this object V. I might just flip back to here for a second. So there's an example here of how to use this here. One of these tabs, an example. Okay, oh, decode, I'm guessing. I can call decode with the string and then give it the type. Okay. So the string I'm looking for should be in my request here, but I'll need to escape all the stuff. Okay, so I copy that for a second. I mean, say the request or JSON is that, but we'll just do some escaping along the way. It should be fine because I need to remember backslash is. Is it there? It is not there. No. Is backslash here? Yes, it is. Okay. And that. So then can I say decode J, we're going to contain, I haven't imported decode. So we can say JSON.decode J of type DAO.booking, I think. Stop doing that. DAO.booking. Nope. Oh, because we haven't overloaded strings, I'm guessing. So from Haskell REPL, how do you set those strings? I can't remember how to do this. JCI language extension. Obviously, I've been here before. it's like plus x or something. Colon set minus x, the thing. So colon set minus capital X, the thing, which was all of the strings, I think. So J again, just in case it was that. Oh, getting close. Okay. So this needs to be maybe a data booking. And it's just that. Okay, cool. So we can grab that, I guess, and store in a variable. Do that. Yeah. Okay. So B is equal to from maybe. Is that a thing? From just. I don't know what it's called. Maybe. I don't think that's what it's called. Port data.maybe. Is there from just? There is. Okay, cool. This one. Okay. Look at that. We have a booking. That's not really what I wanted at all. That's not what from just does. Is there from maybe? What does it do? Okay. I think from just takes an A and puts it into the maybe A. It's going the other way, basically. Okay. No. Sorry. From maybe goes from A and maybe A to an A. Oh, right, okay. So I need some kind of booking. This is not the helper I want. I can't remember what it was though. From maybe. Actually, no. Let's stop doing this because I've not to do it. I can look it up, I guess. Oh. So looking for data.maybe, it's case sensitive, maybe. In fact, I know what the type is I'm looking for. I'm looking for a maybe A to an A. Oh, that suggests it's from just. Why did that not work then? If it did work, I didn't notice. From just, and then that. Okay. The I think the type binding applied to the whole thing. I don't know though. I'm a bit confused. But I have my booking now. The whole reason I wanted the booking is so I could say end time of B. Okay, I've added 72 picoseconds on. That's annoying. So just flipping back here. I need to understand why it didn't work, but I just call seconds to diff time. That's what I did. And what's this one? I used nominal seconds. Yeah. Let's just try seconds to diff time. Can we go diff time to nominal diff time though? What is a nominal diff time? Conversion functions will treat it as seconds. So if I try and cast 10 as normal diff time, it corresponds to 10 milliseconds. So I just tried to I don't know, I'm a bit confused. Can I, from down here, can I call seconds to diff time? Probably not, because I've imported it. Nope. Oops. Import. What's this data time? Okay. So seconds diff time of let's just say something matters. Let's say 60 seconds. Oh, it's got an S on it. Isn't that cool? So can we say IGTC time? IGTC time. That thing. So seconds diff time. Trouble is, this gives me back a diff time, not a nominal diff time. But I wonder if it can just cope with it. Probably not. Doesn't sound like the kind of thing it would just cope with, whatever it is. And then booking from a B. Yeah, doesn't work. Okay. If you did 60 : nominal diff time. That does seem to work. Okay, so you'd say, how do you get the hours out? It's hours of B. Well, it's be 2 seconds, so it should be 2049 in 2 seconds. No. Okay, I can go from int to nominal diff time. Can I go from integral? Because I wonder what it actually converted before. Oh, I can do that. Okay. So can I do from integral B times 3600? Yes, I can. So maybe that's just the way to do it. So actually, if I just do from integral, it should just convert it for me, because that's the same as me explicitly casting it here, explicitly giving it a type. I'm not casting it. Okay. So maybe this is going to work. Control D, back to here, kill that and restart the server, rebuild it along the way. So the only thing I really needed was from integral of that whole line. Okay. Let's here for a second. So if I get the environment, there are no bookings, it's available written for 2 hours. Right. Yeah, you can do that. Okay. And then we get the environment again. It's now booked. Woohoo. Okay, cool. So the end time is set to something in the future. Good, I guess. So it's good in the sense that I now know how to pass in duration. I'm not parsing it properly, so maybe next week we can come back and look at adding the parser back in here. We'll return something like a number of minutes that you're going to book it for. I'm going to hope we never hit months, because that would be a little bit difficult. But if we do sort of minutes, hours, days, and weeks, that should be fine to do, because they're all some multiple of minutes without having to worry about the number of days available in a month, whatever. Yeah, so I can come back and start looking at it next week, but for now, worked out how to get value out. I think call a function on it. Worked out how to call a function. That's good progress for today. And then a little bit of working out how to add time on. Cool. All right then. Thanks for watching along. Yeah, and hopefully see you next week when we'll actually start parsing some proper times without just hard coding everything. But yeah, thanks for watching. Goodbye.